Okay.
This is the story of the White Knight, of the man himself. Okay. There's one knight who only comes out at night, and his name is the White Knight. His nemesis is Lord Procrastinator, who makes people procrastinate. He uses his white sight to show the citizens affected by the Lord Procrastinator, showing them the future if they keep procrastinating. He's the town savior who always looks ahead for a better plan and a better tomorrow. Okay, just to make it a better backstory, he was passed around as an orphan child, never had a good education. As a teenager, the White Knight always procrastinated. As you can see, instead of studying for finals, he was eating a scrumptious piece of cake. But then one night he had a dream that he was sleeping and it showed him as an older age, and it was a homeless man. He woke up the next morning and just shook off the nightmare thinking it was nothing. Just a bad dream. Then in class the next day he had the vision again, and it was him like as the homeless man, and it wouldn't go away until he stopped procrastinating and read the book with the class like they were all reading the book. When the White Knight came home, he was freaked out and did all his late homework and projects. He completed all his late projects so that he would never have the visions, scary visions again of his homeless man. A couple days later, once he finally caught up on all his projects and missing assignments, he did a super good project for his group, where he made the foam model for the aquaponics system. This helped them not just improve in not procrastinating, but also in group work, where he learned that not dividing and conquering is usually the best way to do group work, like some things like this foam model. It's really helpful if 2 to 3 people work on it at the same time, so you get it done quickly, and so it looks nice. While he was doing all his projects, like his Heroes project and his STEM infographs, he learned that he got a lot better at planning, drafting, and revising. He worked hard on double-checking his work and drafting which pictures would work best on the final piece of the Heroes project. He revised his project with the class a couple times, which helped him learn to use other people for helpful criticism. He used feedback in one main part in the project, and that was when they had to talk about the Heroes project to their peers. He had to use 3 main points, making his feedback good: specific, helpful, and kind. 3 things helped him receive feedback to know exactly what he had to fix. He improved in his skill because before he didn't know the 3 things to always keep in mind when he gave you feedback. He thought this was a really good and helpful exercise to help him learn the art of feedback and also help him with writing. He found it helpful that there was more than one person to ask multiple opinions. When he was doing his STEM infographics, he used his new drafting and planning skills to make a couple rough drafts so he knew how to make a better final draft. As you can see, one is the draft, and one's the final one. Because the draft is the sticky notes and the revised stuff. For the infographics, everybody, to revise it, everybody walked around and was given 3 sticky notes to give to the infographics, and it helped a lot because you got a lot of opinions to make your infograph better. Yeah, and that is why it's good to plan and revise the draft. As the White Knight learned to stop procrastinating, he also learned to be a more active group member in everyone else's jobs. For example, he would help with everything, not really just staying in one area unless he was really needed. In his aquaponic project, he wouldn't just do the building, but also the website and the research. Research and website. After the White Knight fixed his procrastinating problem, he helped others fix it too by showing them the future if they go down the road. That's where he helped people use his website, like all the way back. He also helped his group members when they couldn't figure anything out or were stuck. For example, the White Knight brought a lot of ideas to the table, so we never had nothing and we had a good idea to think about. Especially when we think about setups for the aquaponics system. He brought the idea we're using now, and the group just helped revise it a little bit, and that's what we're using. Now that the White Knight knew how bad it was to procrastinate, he learned to leave some time to do work. Like on every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday night, he sets time to read and do annotations. And on Friday night, instead of doing it Sunday night, he did his blog, so it wasn't crammed in on the last minute. The White Knight used his white sight to show people who procrastinated a possible future if they kept procrastinating. The White Knight grew up to be the town savior, architect, citizen. Okay, that's not the right slide. That's not the right side. My other challenges in MPX, well, my main one is procrastinating, because that's just how I'm just a procrastinator. But MPX has taught me not to procrastinate because there's so much work. All these jams in at the last second. Oh, that's the White Knight grew up to be a town savior, always protect the citizen from procrastinating. The end. This guy dances.
Questions or comments for Shaughnessey? Shaughnessey, so did you find, so you